Alright everybody, the caliber of cars is absolutely outstanding here. The Slonakar award is very, very high in my opinion, in my words. The standards are pretty high, and that is why this Charger is looking absolutely immaculate behind me. There's a lot happening here, and all I can say is it's beautiful, it looks good, it is so clean. There's a lot of car underneath this, but we are going to have a chat with the builders behind it and find out what's going on and exactly what they've done, because check this out. Everything is just insane. Loving the interiors. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's find the builder. Noah, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, how are you?
I'm good. Mate, introduce yourself and then tell me, what am I seeing?
Alright, I'm Noah with Classic Car Studio in St. Louis, and our team built this 1968 Charger for the Grand National Roadster Show. We wanted to debut it here, so here it is.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
And that's just putting it lightly, because we can see from the crowds around it, there is a lot happening here. Is this going for the Slonakar Award?
It is going for the Slonakar Award.
Congratulations for starters.
Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to, we don't do a lot of indoor car show stuff, but we thought this would be a good contender for the award, and our customer was really into it, so we built it for this.
Well, let's start at the front, and I want you to tell me what you've done to the 68 Charger, because it's a long way from home.
Yeah. So the wheelbase is moved forward to shorten it up. So the wheelbase on the front end is changed 3.5 inches. All of our bumpers we tucked in, so we sent those to advanced plating. We got them, pretty close to where we wanted them. We sent them to advanced plating. They sent them back in copper, and we continued to, work with them and get the gap exactly where we wanted it.
And that's why this is standing out, because you have done a lot of modifications to the body line.
Everything we have, and everything's very subtle, but the body lines on the car are all sharpened. The car's got really beautiful body lines, but a lot of them are pretty faint from the factory, so we work with those just to get everything as sharp and crisp as possible, and along the way, realized we didn't really know what the Charger body lines looked like. We're like, I didn't know they were like this, because we just exaggerated everything a little bit.
Yeah. We love the Chargers, and they do have amazing body lines.
Right.
And you've kept to that.
We have. So everything's very, very straight. We used all BASF laser paint. There's very little transition between any panels. So if you're looking at a door to the quarter or fender to the door, and you move your head, the gaps will disappear because there's just very little transition there.
And I think that's why so many people are standing and admiring this, looking at it from the different angles, because it is those body lines. And even here, I hope the camera does it justice, we can just see it's sharpened up this end right here.
Yep.
Wow.
Very sharp, yeah. Then those two pockets in the top of the doors, they kind of look like vents. Those are more prominent now. So.
Well, before we move on, let's come back here, because.
Yeah, the grille was very important to us. So I feel like the front of a car is kind of the identity of the car. So we didn't want to change a whole lot, because we still wanted it to be a 68 Charger. So the valance is custom on the bottom, but it's pretty subtle. And then the grille surround is a factory looking grille surround, but we've got it fitting very, very tightly all the way around the edge and along the bumper, just really, really consistent, tight gap all the way around. So, and then factory grill.
Because you had to keep it like that. We love the Chargers.
Yeah.
I've got one at home. It's definitely not a 68,
right.
But these 68 Chargers, the grills are iconic.
Yeah.
People love them, and when they see it, they are able to tell what it is.
Right.
And then they think twice about, wait, hold on. There's a lot more here.
There's a lot more going on. But.
Let's have a look under the hood, and then we're going to look into the undercarriage, because you do have awesome mirrors, which I absolutely love. But before the engine, talk to me.
Yeah, so we've got a few different colors on the car and finishes. We like to do a primary color and then an accent color. And on this one, we also have a matte finish on a lot of parts. So in the engine compartment, everything's finished in matte. These are all custom sheet metal parts that we created in the shop. And then the engine's actually the original engine. It's been completely gone through, but it's actually the matching numbers engine that was originally in the car. It was rebuilt by Dick Landy, the drag racer in California back in the day. And then we got it in, and we were like, you know what? It'd be pretty cool to use that in this build. So we've got Borla throttle bodies, Holley fuel injection.
Numbers matching engine.
It's the original. It's a 440. But it's actually the original engine block that came in the car from the factory, which is, I don't think we've ever done a custom car that still had the original engine. It always gets swapped out.
Yeah, but that's kudos to you because it looks absolutely beautiful. The way you've dressed it up.
So the block's been completely refinished. Everything's been sanded down, deburred. Very, very smooth, very, very slick. Same quality paint that you can see in the rest of the car inside the engine compartment.
You know, it's a lot easier to put in a new engine in there than to get an old one and to fix it and then to make it work to the level that you have here.
Sure.
So that alone, there's a lot of hours in there.
Lots and lots of hours.
And the other thing that there's a lot of hours is there's so much detailing happening here and the fabrication work inside. Yeah,
anytime you make a custom panel, you create a lot more work for yourself because those have to be painted and the panels have to be made, very, very smooth and flaw-free. So otherwise, you're going to end up with a lot more, body work in the end. The whole bottom of the hood is custom and nice and smooth, but it has, a factory type look, which we wanted to kind of preserve there. We also wanted to keep the factory hood height. We didn't want a cowl or anything on it, so it was important to get this to fit under that factory hood. So we made some subtle modifications to it to make it all work, but it's very, very close, and everything fits. So
we'll have a chat with the owner as well in a minute and see what he has to say. But I am loving the hood hinges here.
Yep.
Everything really just flows. These are custom as well?
Yes, they are.
Such small details in. It's just
polished fasteners throughout.
This is where originally the vents would have been?
Well, it looked like this originally, but because we got all of our lines a lot more crisp looking, you can see this detail better. It kind of disappeared into the factory door a little bit more, so same design, it's just brought out quite a bit.
Right, no, let's get down here to the wheels. One of the standout features for any custom car, and you guys have done this so well. Talk to me, what have we got?
These are Billet Specialties wheels. We love Glenn at Billet, and they always work with us and build us a high quality wheel that fits our exact provided measurements, and they just work, good looking, and very, very high quality. We can't ask for anything else, so we finished those in the bronze that is kind of our accent color that exists in a few other spots on the car.
So what have we got here in the back? What size wheel?
We've got a 22 in the back and a 19 in the front.
22 is in the back. Love the deep dish.
Yep, nice deep dish. The whole car rides on a Roadster Shop chassis, but the way it's installed on the Charger, it's unitized, because originally this car would have had like subframe type setup.
So what does that mean, unitized?
So instead of having like subframe, we take all that stuff out, then you cut the floors out, and you drop the body down onto the chassis, and you perimeter weld it all the way on. But because we were doing, we wanted to compete at the show, we built a custom floor, and we even closed the entire, chassis and body and bottom of the car. So, and then we've also got this nice crisp line on the bottom where we transition between the gloss paint and the matte paint. So, one cool thing is, like, when you look at the bottom, you're going to need to jack the car up every once in a while, but there's not a jacking point.
So what do you do?
Well, we've made these custom pockets. You can see the hole up in the front corner,
yes.
And we've got a mount that you slide in there, and then you can jack the car up. So that's reinforced all around there, so you can still jack the car up. And but there's no visible place,
This is what I said. It is insane. When it comes to this level, Slonakar Award contendee, these are the details. I mean, you actually had to make a jack stand yourself for this, basically.
We've got a lot of things we added in the car that, you know, we learned little tricks over the years that just to make it easier for transport, make it easier for that. But, you know, we wanted to be completely concealed off. So
Wow.
we have 4 little pockets on all 4 corners, and it's really cool. So you can see our rear end. See how the frame is.
Let's go to the back.
Yeah.
I think it might be better if we move over to the back, and then the interiors are just something else.
Yeah, we can do the interior last or whatever. So all of our thanks. So we did, you know, with the paint, with stripes, you don't want to be able to feel the stripes, you don't want to be able to feel any transition, but we do have a matte stripe. So what we did is we painted the car and we cleared the car, and then we did all of our sanding and buffing and everything. And then the very last thing we did is we came back and we sprayed a matte clear over the stripe. So the stripe is like, even though there's a little bit of an edge to it, it's very very low profile edge. We've got a little bit more of a kick on the back
I
than
noticed.
you would have from, you know, just a subtle thing, but just another aggressive, like nice sharp line. So we kind of got addicted to like all the little edges and all the fine gaps.
They
so,
really they make such a, you know, it's such a small thing.
Yeah.
When you put it all together.
When you put it all together, then you kind of start chasing around the car looking. So we spent a lot of time just getting everything super straight, and it was, you know, it was a lot of people staring at the lines in the car and, you know, kind of being really critical of themselves.
It gets to a time and it gets to a point where you start seeing it in your dreams.
People dream about it. Yeah, it's hard to leave it, you know, at work. So
Wow, but I mean, I'm seeing touches of carbon fiber here in the back as well.
these are, yes, we've got some, not carbon fiber. This is like a wrinkle finish inside, and then this is all advanced plating. Did all of our bright work in nickel. You might not be able to see it here, but it's got a little bit of like a golden glow, which we liked because it kind of cues off the bronze, you know, flat paint on the car. So another cool thing is, if you look underneath, the stripe rolls all the way down underneath the bottom of the car. So right on this back edge, you can see the stripe keeps going all the way around.
I love the chargers, and you know, I'm just standing there talking to friends, and I see this, and I'm like, okay, wow. End of the day, but I still had to get this in so you guys could see and appreciate it, and also see the level expectations that needs to be met in order to be in the Slonakar contenders. It's just phenomenal on everybody, and love the filter. Had to be bigger as well.
Yep, we had to have that. Also a really nice finished piece by Advanced Plating.
Advanced Plating does absolutely amazing work.
They do amazing work, and they know what we're looking for, and we know what they're capable of, so it's always fun.
I do plan to go and tour the shop there for you lot at home, so you can see some of the work. Let's see those body lines once more before we move into the interiors. Yeah, amazing. Okay, wow. We've got a bit of wood grain happening.
Yes, we're in Missouri. There's a lot of black walnut, so we used walnut in a few accent places. Didn't want to overdo it, but we thought, you know, a little bit of walnut with some custom stainless trim around it would look nice to break up all that green, and more green and lots more green.
So you did the interiors as well in-house?
Yeah, we did everything in-house on it.
Okay. A lot of the times interiors go somewhere else, but the interiors and everything has been done by yourself, by you and your team?
Yeah, we do. We always do the interiors in-house.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. It's cool to be able to do everything in-house, and you know, it kind of transition the car around the shop. You can be working at multiple things at one time. You can always, you know, the interior can go to body and be like, hey, what do you think? Do you think this is going to fit? Like, how do you, is this going with what your plans are? And, you know, yes, no, or whatever.
That's what I've heard, that it works out a lot more better because you guys can communicate and you're right there within an arm's reach of one another. So interiors are amazing, everybody. Let's show you guys at home. Absolutely beautiful 68 Charger.
So we got custom door panels, a custom built dash, custom built floors. runoff console, and we had all these bezels machined, and then it's kind of hard to see because it's dark in here, but the gauge pods have ridges in them, just like the rear taillight housings. So we matched the gauges to the one of the best looking taillights ever created on the Charger. So.
Wow, very tight.
Even on the courtesy light, we had it machined, so it's got that look.
There's a whole lot of car here, everybody. Check it out, everything is just so beautiful, from the seats, beautiful details. I'm seeing wood grain again under the seat as well. It's just enough to go with a car like this. It's just the right amount of wood grain. It's absolutely beautiful.
One of my favorite parts is the package tray, which no one ever sees, but I always thought of the view through the back window.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought it to me. Talk to me. Wow.
Yeah, so a little more walnut back there, and then some custom-made stainless trim pieces. It just, I don't know, when we put that in there, everybody was kind of like, yeah, that's it. That's the way it should be. Pretty excited.
What did you start off with? What was the condition of the 68 Charger?
Well, it's a rare thing to find these days, but the car, when we stripped it down, was totally rust-free, which is amazing. And it had, on the, driver's side rear quarter, just a little bit of maybe light accident damage from back in the day that had been repaired, but no metal was added. They kind of had to roughly hammer it out and then just body worked over it. So it was a remarkably nice body. And then our customer Ed, he'd known the car forever. His friend had owned it in high school.
Let's get Ed on this.
Yeah, we can get Ed in here.
Let's go. I did speak to Ed.
Ed can tell. Ed can color in the.
It's looking absolutely beautiful now, but let's get a little bit of.
Ed's on the phone. We might need to either get him off or.
I told him before I'm going to come to you, so let's go.
He'll love to talk about it.
But how long did this take you, Noah?
So it took us just a little bit under 3 years to build it.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
For something like this, and you've done everything yourself in-house.
Yeah. We try to get on it and keep going. The start and stop is frustrating and can really kill the vibe and the pace of a project. So it has about 7,400 hours in it. 7,400 hours. 7,400 hours.
There you go, everybody.
Yeah, lots of hours.
Let's go and interrupt Ed on his phone call. He looks like he's off the phone as well. But it's all happening here at the Roadster Show. Ed, come on up, please. No, you're fine.
Make a phone call, but
I'm glad I got you before.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. Ed, congratulations. This is absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you. It takes a team, right?
It really does. Now, what have you got to say? Come on, Noah, you're still in this as well. Of course, you're happy with this.
Oh, I'm elated.
One of the things that I love when I've got both the builder and the owner is, what did you agree on? What did you disagree on? And how much input did you have?
I had a lot of input if I wanted to, right? But I trusted the guys' instincts, right? They're in the industry. They know what's modern, what's happening in today in the hot rod world, right? So I trusted them. The only one thing that I would say that, I mandated was that it came with a Dick Landy motor, numbers matching to this car, which is kind of unique in the hot rod world today.
Absolutely.
Right? We didn't do a lot of, put a Hemi in it or anything, so it's the actual motor that was in this 1968 Charger, numbers matching. That was my only criteria with the guys. It's like,
you're an easy customer.
Which we like because you know what? We've done all the LS stuff, we've done all the LT stuff, we've done a bunch of Coyotes.
I haven't seen a car of this standard that has had the matching numbers in it.
Yeah.
So that is.
We thought that was cool too. It was kind of a breath of fresh air to go back to something old school. But you know what? It's got all the modern fuel injection stuff on it. All the throttle bodies, all Holly. It's cool. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, we took it from carbureted to fuel injection with velocity stacks, and Orla, you know, basically designed the intake manifold and the stack injection. So, you know, that was kind of my only mandate. And after
you seem
that,
like a nice,
you know,
easy guy. It's so good.
you know, and what I told them is, I said, build me the baddest Charger in North America.
Music to your ears. As a builder, music to your ears. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, you know, as a builder wants that type of relationship with the customer. That's the dream relationship. You know what the customer wants, but the customer also trusts you to do, you know, what you know the team can pull off. So, you know, we had free reign, and we were able to create, you know, the finest Charger we could possibly build. You know,
some of the best cars have come from exactly that, you know, giving free reign to the builders.
And what's funny is my original color for the car was black cherry, right, with a darker
I'm so glad
interior.
you changed it.
Well, thanks to these guys, they sent me like leather samples, carpet samples, color, you know, spray sheets, and they said, you know, green, and I said, oh my gosh, anything but green, right? And after that, I started looking at it. I got my house in Houston, and I was putting it in the sun, and I was looking at it, putting it in, you know, out of the sun, and I was like,
it's a beautiful.
They made the perfect choice, and it represents the car, the era of the car, right? It's history, and I think it matches, you know, what the car. If you were going to build it today,
this is what they would have done.
This is what they would have done.
Now, Ed, tell me, where on earth did you find a 68 Charger with such minimal rust?
So a friend of mine owned this car from high school, and I bought the car from him 20 years ago, and it had an older restoration on it,
but
and I wanted to update it. Yeah, I wanted it updated. So I've owned the car for 20 years, and happy to have it and look at it today. It's a perfect example of, I think, what, you know, Chrysler would build this car today if they had the opportunity.
It's absolutely amazing, honestly. Good luck with the Slonakar Award.
Well,
for me, this is right up there, and that's my opinion. There's a lot of beautiful cars here, but it's a beautiful Charger, everybody. So I hope the camera has done it justice. Ed, what are your plans?
Well, you know, we're going to commit to like a year of touring the car.
Yep.
You know, to build a car like this is, I shouldn't say easy to do. It takes money, right?
Yes.
The other part is, for me, is I want people to see it. I want the next generation, I want kids, you know, and all that, to see this car and go, this is what I want to do. I want to build stuff like this. So,
love that. So you're going to show it?
Show it for the next year, but I want people to see it, you know?
Yeah. You're going to drive it around?
Of course. I'm going to burn the tires off of it.
That's what we want to hear.
I'm going to burn the tires off of it, man.
That's what we want to hear. Well, it's absolutely awesome stuff. Now, Noah, tell me, what is next for you guys?
We've got a lot of cool stuff in the works. We've got, you know, this was big, you know, and as was doing the 56 Ford at the same time. So we're going to take a quick breath, but we've got a lot of work at the shop we're getting back to.
You've got a 56 Ford? That's finished?
That's here. Ed brought two vehicles for the Slonakar that are here.
Okay, where is the F100?
It's right over here.
We have to walk over there. We'll just take a quick look.
Yeah.
Right.
I know you guys are tired. I've talked so much, but this is awesome. But we've got to see your other car.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you've got a beautiful F100 here, and we're just going to stand and not see it, you know? Got to hassle these guys. I have to. If I don't do it, who is going to do it at these car shows? We've got Ed off the phone. We've got Noah here talking as well. There's the guys looking at it. So, a lot of beautiful cars.
We're very excited to have.
Wow, 1956 Ford, all original steel car. Another absolutely brilliant build. I'll give you guys a little bit of a close-up, but this is absolutely amazing. Ed, not one, but two for the Slonakar, and both of them out of your shop.
Correct.
Classic Car Studio.
It was definitely challenging, but also fun. And we need something to get the adrenaline flowing in the morning. So
yeah,
two this year.
Challenging and exciting, right?
Challenging and exciting.
Noah, talk to me. What condition did Ed give you this?
Well, this was a cool project because it was originally started by Fat Jack Robinson in California for a friend of Ed's, and Fat Jack unfortunately passed away, and the project sat for a couple years, and it just kind of stalled out. And Ed said, you know, hey guys, you know, maybe we were actually on the way to Sema. Maybe on the way to Sema, fly in and drive from California, stop at the shop and look at it. You know, I might be interested in, you know, having you guys finish this project. And we thought that was cool. So we always liked Fat Jack. We liked the builds he was doing. We're like, you know what, if we can kind of, you know, keep some of his stuff intact and, you know, add a little bit of our own flavor, that would be a pretty fun project. And Ed owns the Fat Jack truck, which was the first truck on the cover of Hot Rod magazine. So for Ed to have two, I think, you know, that was a pretty cool thing.
Congratulations, Ed.
Yeah.
You obviously love your cars.
I do. You know,
An absolute hot rodder.
this hot rod stuff is in my blood, right? My dad, you know, created all of this in our family. I think it's in our genes. You
It's
know,
in your genes.
yeah, it's in our genes, and excited, you know, to carry it forward, and hopefully my grandchildren, you know, take it along as well, and you know, keep moving this thing forward. It's about, you know, carrying all this stuff forward. It's easy to build. It's easy for me to build the cars. Not so easy for Classic Car Studios.
But
it's a lot of work.
You
But
still have the vision, you know, the fact that you love these hot rods, you love these classic cars, and even though you trust your builders because you know them so well, but you keep doing this, which is what we love,
yeah,
because you're staying active in the industry,
yeah.
and you're able to participate in shows like this, and we can have the hall get filled up with such beautiful cars.
Yeah.
The builders are an absolutely huge part of it, but if it wasn't for you guys, none of this could come together
Right.
as well.
I mean, how do we carry it forward, right? By showing this
By
stuff
doing
and
this, by
inspiring,
doing this.
inspiring people,
But
right?
having crazy nuts like
Yeah.
you coming. But no, I do want you to come on in here,
Yeah.
please, and just tell me a little bit. Let's come over here. Tell me about the power plant. Ed mentioned it before.
Yeah, so this is one of our favorite giant power plants, very unique looking and really powerful. It's a John Kazi. It's called the Boss 9. Big block, big wild power, tons of torque, but just a very high-end, nicely built engine. It's got a presence like no other inside of the engine compartment. And we've got all four throttle bodies on top as well. So it's been modernized. It's fuel injected now, but it's got that old school, super clean look. You can see the spark plug wires. We hand built all of the headers and the exhaust system in-house. It's all TIG welded. It's all been polished up to look really cool. And then the front runner setup we liked, and that was a front runner setup that Fat Jack sold out of his hot rod shop to customers. And it was with the truck, and we're like, well, we're definitely going to use that. So.
Wow, and one of the things that I first saw immediately when I walked up to the truck was the wheels.
Yeah, super cool, old school looking. That's a Holla brand, but it's a modern size. You know, we didn't want to run, you know, a really small wheel on it, but we didn't want to go too big either. So we feel like we struck a pretty good balance with the wheel size and the overall size of the truck, and then the tire size as well.
Two very different builds.
Very different belts.
Two very different builds. Oh wow. Well, you guys know I love the beds, but check this out, and there's even a chest in here.
Yeah, this is the fuel tank. So, and I can show you kind of why we did that when we look at the back. But we put the fuel tank here because we've got a really nicely polished quick change rear end in the back, and we didn't want the fuel tank hanging down. So it's a cool look. We made these leather straps for it. Another neat thing we did, all the fuel injection equipment, you know, was not to be seen anywhere in the truck because we've hidden it all inside there on top of the fuel tank. So it's basically like a tank in a tank.
So where do you fill up from?
Right in the back, right corner. Yep,
that hole?
There's
Okay.
a little hole, yep.
And you can just, is it those push ones like they have in the modern day Chargers?
Yep.
Which is without the lid.
You got it.
I love that.
Yeah.
you know, we're always thinking about where to put the gas and
Sure.
where to fill up. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that before. And I did actually wonder because, you know, I mean, I see my car and you open it up and you can just put it in.
You can just put it in, right?
And the door is just there for the looks purpose,
Sure.
honestly, because
Yeah,
nothing
not a lot of caps anymore. I mean, some stuff still uses caps, but yeah, a lot of vehicles just have, you know, a little lid. So
Wow.
it worked well for our purposes and allowed us to hide all the fuel injection equipment.
All right. Well, tell me about the bed before we go underneath it.
This bed has got a really cool, subtle black finish. Bedwoods did that for us, so then we created these metal strips in the, you know, stainless strips in the bed. We built those out. So just a nice, simple, very, very clean look. Lots of black, a little bit of shine everywhere on the truck. And then
Nice
on the bottom,
gray.
which, you know, we're looking at now, everything is super, super shiny. Everything is,
Wow.
the frame is all smoothed out. Everything is body worked from front to rear. Wet sanded, buffed.
Underneath as well.
Underneath as well, yeah.
Wow.
Underneath, everything, same attention to detail. You know, it's actually a lot more crazy little surfaces in there because the bottom of the truck, but fully TIG welded, one off, and polished stainless steel exhaust system.
Classic Car Studios, everybody. It sounds like there is a lot happening there. Interiors, TIG welding. I mean, I'm guessing the CNC machining.
We try to do everything we can, you know, in-house. So
Sounds like a heck of a place because look at the bills that's coming out of it.